Half a century ago, we walked on another world. Those images are burned into our collective memory. The pristine white spacesuits, the stiff flag, and the boot prints pressed perfectly into the gray dust. But those images created a dangerous misconception. Planting a flag and surviving for a few hours is not a conquest. It is a temporary visit to an environment that takes weeks to reveal its true brutality. Artemis transitions from that short visit to a permanent stay. This shift introduces lethal hazards that didn't matter to the Apollo crews because they left before the environment could dismantle their equipment. Modern ambitions require a total leap in logistics. To establish a base, we're deploying heavy habitats and orbital refueling stations, relying on a supply chain stretching across 250,000 miles of space. The baseline at the lunar surface is a hard vacuum with no atmosphere to regulate heat. Surface temperatures swing from 260 degrees Fahrenheit in the sunlight to -300 degrees in the shadows. Colonizing such a world demands the absolute limit of human engineering. We are betting our finite wealth and intellect on the idea that we can survive on a rock that is actively trying to kill us. The technical cost begins with the landers themselves. To transport the necessary tonnage for a base, vehicles like the SpaceX Starship must navigate the unique physics of landing a massive cylinder in a vacuum. This diagram shows plume-surface interaction. Without an atmosphere to buffer the thrust, engine exhaust accelerates the loose regolith directly. This creates a high-velocity spray of debris that sandblasts nearby equipment at hundreds of meters per second. Preventing this damage requires building hardened landing pads before any humans arrive. This demands autonomous robotic fleets capable of sintering the local soil into a stable surface, a multi-billion-dollar prerequisite for the first day of operations. That soil is the product of billions of years of meteorite impacts. Because there is no erosion from wind or water, every grain of regolith is a razor-sharp glass shard. These particles are electrostatically charged and highly adhesive. They act as a grinding paste inside mechanical seals and cause severe biological inflammation when inhaled into a pressurized cabin. Current mitigation strategies involve complex electrodynamic dust shields and suit-lock airlocks designed to leave contaminated gear outside the habitat entirely. These are expensive solutions for a problem that simply doesn't exist on Earth. Merely stepping outside requires a heavy, autonomous infrastructure that has never been tested at scale. Beyond the atmosphere, the lunar surface is under constant bombardment from cosmic rays and solar radiation. This model illustrates albedo radiation. High-energy particles strike the ground and scatter secondary neutrons and gamma rays upward. An astronaut stands in a radiation bath, hit from the sky and the ground simultaneously. Protecting a crew requires burying habitats under 2 to 3 meters of regolith. This necessitates automated earth movers to dig foundations and pile the mass before any human presence is viable. If these engineering barriers fail, the vacuum takes over. When pressure drops to zero, nitrogen in the blood comes out of solution, and liquids on the eyes and inside the lungs boil at body temperature. Unconsciousness occurs in 10 to 15 seconds. Even inside a shielded habitat, the moon's 1/6 gravity causes long-term cardiovascular decay and bone density loss that no current exercise regimen can fully counteract. The moon is a world that actively dismantles both human physiology and the machines protecting it. Every hour of habitation is a struggle against an environment that has no capacity to support life. On Earth, every critical system is backed by a global supply chain and repair infrastructure. On the moon, a single component failure is an isolated catastrophe with no way to resupply. This creates a cumulative failure risk. Success requires millions of interdependent, unproven components to work perfectly in extreme conditions without a single breakdown. This failure map shows how easily the system collapses. Abrasive dust fouls a solar shield, which causes a thermal overload that fatigues a vacuum seal. The result is fatal depressurization. We are directing billions of dollars and our most advanced engineering minds towards solving problems that are inherent to the moon's hostility. We are betting those resources on lab-tested technologies that have never been validated at the lunar South Pole. The moon provides nothing for us. Every breath is a victory won by a machine that is constantly being abraded, irradiated, and fatigued. We have to decide if that struggle is worth the cost, or if those resources are better spent on the one world that actually keeps us alive.